You got your things and I got mine. In heaven, everything is fine. In heaven, everything is fine. In heaven, everything is fine. You got your good things and I got mine. Yes, David, Mr. Lynch, can you hear me from Bohemian? Repeat with me. In heaven, everything is fine. In heaven, everything is fine. In heaven, everything is fine. You got two good things, and I got mine. Once again. In heaven, everything is fine. In heaven, everything is fine. In heaven, everything is fine. You got your good things, and I got mine. In heaven, everything is fine. In heaven, everything is fine. In heaven, everything is fine. You got your good things, and I got mine. Yes, and this is a legendary, beautiful song from Everything is Fine, from the first Mr. Lynch piece of a movie, released from 1977. Song di movie by The Lady da dietro, music Mr. Lynch, music by The Lyrics, Mr. Lynch myself, surely now since the died, finally the reached but that or this evil when anything is fine, me happy from all it was a thing called the fans for this fact, but also I consider him lucky for the fact this fact, but for another lead I'm not happy because obviously at the same time he died and non mi sono accettato una stagione si castina because the fact which died practically at 20 time because 4 days later was his in fact on January 10th was his birthday, and January he with the speech on January 16 as the 16 of every month because in fact 16 is the date or the day which is just 49, and so I repeat once again that I'm happy searching for the fans and also consider him lucky from Walid for the fact that finally he has really reached that to the singer or everything is fun or should be fun at his disposal. Oh, once again, for the moment, once again, I'll see you tomorrow, I suppose. If I try. I cannot tell tomorrow what will happen, but I'll see. I repeat, even if it's not visible, sunshine, now I see repeating the last things for later. The fact that sure it will be a super sunshine in the correct sense, and the fact that it's possible with like this, so visit once again. Mr. Lynch, lives only be nice forever. Good morning, Mr. Massimo, simply, or simply, or simply, or simply, or simply, or simply. Or simply, or simply, or simply, or simply there. Just the minute, the Lynch. It's November 20th, 2027. It's a Tuesday in Naples. Today seems actually cloudy. Yes, white cloudy sky in general. It also seems now, even if through the wind I think cold and heavy considering the period, cioè more heavy, whatever in general cold and heavy, in general also this one. It's early afternoon, yeah, it's noon and 22 minutes. 6.26 Fahrenheit, 17 Celsius, неземные статистика или software, che si disibile soft si classica ti source for ho avuto molto spring events the reports of 4 years ago is because I'm significant last June 17 giant and 4 years so fact that you already passed the 4 years with the reports of the summer the past summer or the last summer perhaps someone followed me I think my body also fact that many weeks ago we entered in YouTube now in fact also for YouTube yeah 4 years with the reports obviously not for the 2 seasons winter and spring was in that in this case still 3 years if now in a month practically enter in the winter and so for the winter there will be 4 years with airports as perhaps someone not remember I think about it was a lavoro which one year suppose indeed I'm sure but I see the remember is English also see it's metaments mal corposa perché io ho scelto Windows it's better now perhaps you got for me and I nessuno non intero la precision also for the autumn winter spring exams for winter so it's cool for spring once in adjective soft for the summer the adjective hot so sono in general for the seasons all the periods classic adjective and as regard the degrees at is me also I think was in field absolutely incomplete but surely for this period this for 2 reasons. The first one consists in the passage from summer to the autumn, and the second one consists in the last definitive change of temporary degrees applied many weeks ago. And through this change, now the eye is completely in fact changed. Or sorry for the joke of words, or completely pleasant, or if not pleasant, surely really good. Yes, with the eye remaining the same temperature degrees, so the sum of all these things makes the condition situation completely pleasant, or I repeat, if not pleasant, surely really good. And all these are tests for me and also for the people. For later think or not because you feel cold, for a later think of yes, I don't know, this is one of them. However, in general for me was good. And if let's say I think in the last in the last 20-21 days, I think yes, 22 days, it's slightly good, obviously. Now we are practically on, we are going to the end of this November and so we are going to December, so it's also normal this thing from a certain point of view. This is the but scatto sostanzialmente absolutely I can say the same thing that just before in Jesus it's bad, really bad. Ora tristissimo, sta facendo briefing e sembra finito di sé. In Gary afternoon, I think at time for this one season, repeated just before 6.6 Fahrenheit, 17 Celsius. At important thing is atmosphere, anticipated. So before the visa. Yes, there is the curtain, vabbè, non lo story, ma vedete forse ne sarà un source the curtain. When there is a curtain in general, as you know, as I'm represented, I'm sure it's not perfect. At least I suppose, in fact, I should repeat. There's this, yes, practically totally white cloudy sky and so according to read, considering my sensations and other things, I think I'm most sure that later in the late afternoon, because obviously early afternoon might became dark, bleak, and also that mattina from afternoon, so from late I think very close. We see, let's see what happens. But as reason obviously went to magia and so wizards, this one so even if it's clear, it's come skipping. Today very clear. Bad. So se ne sono from è stata medical window, è stata curtain, always what as just before the curtain, so this time the person is room and this is the third curtain. Practically the only difference it's the color of the flowers. The color of the previous, the second was yellow gold, the color of the first one was pink, this color seems if not pink, it's truly similar and really close. I don't know if you can really notice well from shot near behind me, think of yes. Not all the time, because whatsoever, as I was in the room, so from the medical window, the new white curtain with the green flowers, longer flowers mixed with new plants since last November 1. This, and for to deepen this thing and the change with the previous curtain, there was a beautiful grey with a beautiful painted with branches. Read the words and yes, un comment, one of my comments under the video, third comment should be, and so I think, I don't know if you can really notice it well from the shot, but it is the first part of the video through which I show you the weather, the atmosphere, sky from the window. Or, if not, from this one, it's practically a shot similar to the classical shot film in the main, more than 3 years ago, for the previous beautiful grey curtain with beautiful painted benches, and it's also a shot related to the effect both when there is the guerrilla shoot and also when there is, but not when there is because the FX image. Now I see read a little picture synthesis that I did use for the grey curtain. Perhaps also for the first one, the color of the curtain. I don't remember, but surely for the grey. That is so now use it also for the inside curtain. That is a speech, and is a little picture sentence. Is it is, but also always better visible for me. It's here in the shot. Seconds shot. Branches. Se cardiac shooter do not activism but as soon as it also the similar special sentence for the curtain. I repeat once again, but also always better visible for me its sensitivity in this shot, disadvantage meteor ragione shot. And finally, from a mythical keyword, my main GX 640 APG 625 also in the case of my shot. E va, questi molto people follow the channel di per sé e se LinkedIn dove sono non mi esiste. Sul myself, sul schier, and finally, I hope you will have a great breakfast. Today, it's late in general, also for us, and if no, also can say maximum slightly late, in fact, come see, irrelate mini for us, but the ball importance is that this for you from regular reactions and it was a salary and in fact, breakfast. At the end, it's late. È stato vittima. At fiintenne partremo le tedesche tifoso di essere se finché te regola di si regola o di sempre nel suo team e su essere ciò or to the repeat close si cade di regola late or to the close si cade di regola late also for me as finished also with slightly late maximum slightly late it's just only obviously 22 minutes. The important thing that you should see him as yet in some way also the first minutes so I'm really young. And as we will see breakfast sono most things self absolutely. As you know, since many months I think almost 1 year this should be time the video. I also lost the conto, I think, like effect for the reason Friday, but I promise you that as non avevo time check potesse dire precisi detto ordine c'è stato così listings fornisare un short così se inizia giochi più sicuramente che ma mostro mania mette insieme col sinu e non so fornisare biscuits sarà un più sul combo su quindi più sul biscuits anzi yes ne finché tornano in vesti not best come tabs biscuits like chocolate chips cookies chocolate chip cookies or cookie with chips chocolate chips non è finito mistake. Non so se hai tutto biscuits, mi stai dicendo, but in particular, there are two things I will say read, that I will really say read, and I really say first one, it's about the milk factory, there's no shot, so non è che si ti coffee bisogna, ma tu sai che chocolate factory su come se non shot fragmenti video, se non shot da venire last 10, 11, as soon as you get most one year, time, as soon as you get should be time repeated, so non è damage potesio, there was no money, it's quick, so ti finisce, now there is one second, we brought it, they brought it one second, I think almost 96, 97 days, adesso 6 days allo stesso punto, 6 days should be time, the bill non so se ne time ci pette su, so I pattern insert it once again in the milk, so very good news. Oh, very good news. And within this I also the fact in cose breakfast, questo bomb, this was a speed in particular, and if so the case last period, it's a joke because we're talking about most one year, so of course, of course I'm referring to the first time so that period, and if in some way we also consider Tulla Nicholas's breakfast, always a mega bomb. The second thing is about CS, and if there are other beautiful CS than the Conad, Italian sea, that's mi sa a piece of position, and the manga team selected the Medodelio. Cosa? At the piece of position for me there la Bamma. Italian sea, yes, ma cosa? A tu come nel motivo, because they are really super bad. Alsio, tomorrow is supposed to today. Like I don't know tomorrow what could have happened. I will see.